Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Melissa and I'm here bringing forth another prophetic dream that the Lord has given to me to release. This dream I had June 24, 2024. I titled this one, Satan being raised up like a mural in the Atlanta sky. I had this dream where I was going somewhere, and please excuse me if I'm looking down. It's because I'm reading from my dream book, okay? I had this dream where I was going somewhere. Another person was with me. As we were walking, all of a sudden, I felt something like a slush of ice. Like, I would say where snow is, they call it flurries. But this was bigger than a flurry. It was a big psh on my face. I felt it a few times. So I immediately said, it's snowing, but it usually don't snow in Atlanta. I started to walk fast to get to where I was going. Then I realized I was going to pick up my daughter from school. As we got under an overpass, the overpass that is like a bridge, like a road on top of another road. So they have like a bridge over the overpass. I touched it. I saw ice on the walls on the side of the overpass, So there's wall here and wall here, and then the vehicle would drive through there, and then of course the bridge is over. So on the side of the bridge where the wall is, I saw ice on the walls. Ice, I would describe it as, when you have a freezer that is filled with ice, like it's frosted over in the fridge, but it's thick frosting in the freezer, like it's a built up ice of frost. Yeah, it looked like that, like slabs of ice on the wall, frost over. And I touched it. I touched it with my hands, and my hands were on fire. It's like my hands were so red. I could see my hands becoming red. The person I was with told me not to touch it again. Then what started as a slush started to fall like a big balls of ice with fire on it. So I don't even know what I can use to describe how big. Maybe a ball up like this of a ice ball, a big ice ball, but it was coming down heavy, like psh, psh. But on every tip of that ball, it was like a fire on it from the speed it was coming. This was happening so rapidly. People were trying to duck and weave to not get hit. Next thing I realized in the sky was a huge image of Satan, like a mural. This image was red, and he looked like a muscular kind of animal man. How can I say it? He was laying on his side. Okay, so he was laying on his side, right? And I saw like his legs were crossed over, one over the other, like this. So he was laying on his side, his leg was crossed over like this. His head is up this way, up where my fingers are, and his leg is crossed over. But his foot, I can see muscles, strong muscles. I think I saw a tail also. I think that's why I probably described it like a kind of an animal man. So he had a form of a man, but attributes of animal. I refused to look at his face, but every direction I went, I could see his body in the sky. That's how big he was over the city. It was close. It was so close down It was so close down. It's like he could touch us. So you know how when we look up in the sky right now, we can't even see how the clouds could touch us because it's so far away. But the way I saw Satan in the sky over the Atlanta, he was like so close where I felt like he could just touch his hand down and touch us. That's how low he was to the city and not further to the sky. So he was closer to us than he was to the sky. Hope that makes sense. Okay. So I was then thinking, I hope the school was releasing the children already so I can grab my daughter and go home. When we got to the school, the lines were so long, people were already there waiting to pick up their children. I got my child and was making my way home. We got home and I woke up. I woke up from this part of the dream and I was like, what? Because I couldn't believe it was a dream. It felt so real. But then when I woke up, I realized it was just a dream. But then I was wondering, what did I just see? But nonetheless, it was early in the morning, closer to 1, 2. So I went back to bed. And as I went back to bed, I got another dream. I woke up. I then went back to bed. And this time I was telling someone about what I saw happening. And I said it was Atlanta. And he said he would never live in Atlanta because the traffic is horrible. As I was still talking to him, the slush that I saw in the first dream started to fall again. I caught some in my hands and showed it to him. I had a blanket that I was wrapped in and had my daughter covered from the slush. So me and my daughter, the slush wasn't hidden on us because I had a blanket that I had covering myself and I also covered my daughter with it. I then woke up again. So this is the second dream I'm waking up from. So the first dream, the Lord showed me where Satan is in the sky. The hail falling from the sky, the big ball of hail falling from the sky, which came down so swiftly, fire was on it, right? And then I picked up my daughter. I went home. I woke up. Now in this dream, I am telling a person about the first dream, describing what I saw. And then also in the second dream, this one, the slush, the flurries were falling and I'm showing him. But in this dream now, I am protected. I have on a blanket and I had the blanket covering my daughter also. So those ice wasn't falling on us. It was just falling, but not on us. Me and my daughter, that was. And I woke up, right? But I didn't just wake up. I went back to sleep again. I went back to sleep. And this time I was in a shop. So kind of like a corner store, right? I was in one of those corner store with the person I was telling before. So the person I was telling about the first dream, in the second dream, I was with that person in this third dream. But this time I was telling the shop attendant, which is like the corner store attendant, and another customer that was also in the store. I got to telling them about the dream I had with the image of Satan over Atlanta, the snow and the ball-like ice, hail with fire. I also found a vase. So in this dream, I found a vase, a clear vase, but it looks like frosty on the outside. It was the perfect size to depict what the ball looked like, how big that ice bowl, I call it boulder, the ice boulder looked like. It was the perfect size, and I was demonstrating to them what it looked like and how the fire was coming from it. I was using it to show them the size of the vase, the size of the ice, the size of the ice ball. And I saw this vase was round and it looked frosted on the outside. The guy went to the restroom, and the lady said, "Thanks for sharing with them." And then I was thinking, I should tell them about their lineage being Hebrew Israelite. But then the guy was not there, and I woke up. Yeah. So before I got to telling the people in the store about the dream, there was a part that I had omitted out when I wrote this out from my phone, that later on I felt like I needed to insert it. So I'm going to insert it here, that the store that I went to seems like a Caribbean shop. It seems like a Caribbean store, as I saw many things that a Jamaican would buy. Items I know, items I knew, and others I've never seen before. One thing I remember was a can of callaloo, which is like a green vegetable like spinach, but we call it callaloo in the Caribbean. But the brand I've never seen before. It was in a can that looked like the one corned beef comes in, which is different from how I know it, because callaloo in can is like those round cans. It's not square like the corned beef can. I ordered tea bags, but he did not have any. He showed me what he had, and it was just herbs in bags, not the way tea bag looks. More like you would have to boil and strain it. So it was, you know how you would buy like a bag of herbs, but you could like, I think back in the day, my grandma used to draw those teas. So back in the day when I was growing up, instead of the mint tea bag, we would just go outside, pick the mint leaves from the mint tree, and then we'll put it in hot water, and just the tea would draw. I mean, the mint will draw from the leaves to the water, and that's how we had our mint tea. It was something more like that, but they already had the herb package in packages, but not in tea bag packages. I hope that makes sense. Now, I want to say something here. This was 1, 2, 3 dreams of the same information in one night. Usually when the Lord does that, He wants me to get the information, and the information that He wants me to get out will be repeated in the following dreams. So yes, He gave me the first dream, but of course it seemed wild and crazy. So He woke me up, then when I went back to sleep, He gave me another dream of me talking about the first dream, right? And the information that I was putting out is to reiterate that it was Atlanta. If you notice, I made note of Atlanta in the second dream, and the slush, right? And then the protection that I now had. So God's people will be protected. So we had a covering, me and my daughter, we had a covering from the slush that was coming down. The first dream, I never had a covering, because I guess the Lord wanted me to know what it would feel like for the people who would not have covering. So I'm sometimes the Lord will put me into dreams like that where I will experience what the other people will experience. So I would experience, not because it was going to happen to me, but I'm experiencing how it will be for the people who are not covered, right? Then the second dream he gave me to reiterate Atlanta. It was happening in Atlanta. It is going to happen in Atlanta. But his people in Atlanta will have a covering. I was covered with a blanket that I also had covering my daughter. And the slush was no longer getting to me. It was no longer affecting me. Right? So it wasn't affecting me at all because I'm covered. The people who are not covered, it will affect. The third dream was summing up the whole first dream. So it makes sense. That this is what I saw. It is definitely in Atlanta. And it's definitely going to be hail. Big boulder hailstones with fire on it that will burn. So I don't know if it's literal fire or if it's going to be just the particles or whatever from the hailstone that will burn upon contact. I am not sure, but I'm just giving it as I saw it. So in the third dream, I said there was an image of Satan over Atlanta. The snow and the ball like ice with fire, which the ice ball was a hailstone that had fire because it was coming down so shh, 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 but it was a lot of them coming down like this shh, 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 shh. So the tip, when it's coming so fast, it's like a tip of the end of that thing has fire into it. More like when you launch the rocket, you see the fire at the end. It's like how the thing is coming down so fast, it makes a fire at the end. That's how I saw it. Now, this is a warning for Atlanta. This is a warning of a coming judgment for Atlanta. There's a judgment upon Atlanta for raising Satan up so high in the sky. He is literally owning Atlanta. How he have access because the people have made him a mural, like a mural in the sky. So there's a judgment coming for Atlanta of hailstones, not no regular hailstones that we have seen before, but big boulder hailstone with fire. The fire of God is coming to consume Atlanta. Be warned, people of God. Stay covered. Stay prayed up. Seek God. Seek God for instructions. Seek God. Pray for your family. Cover your household. And be prepared for what is coming. Be prepared for what is coming. That's it. That's all. I won't add and I won't take away. Have a blessed day.